Welcome to this Earth Element Yoga practice number 5. So today's focus is going to be hamstrings, and as you are training with me longer, you're starting to realize that these Earth Element practices are designed to be more static, more longer holds in positions, but it's very different to the way we do things in the Yin Yoga practices where it's very passive. In these classes, it's designed to be very active. You're learning how to contract and maintain a muscle contraction for a longer amount of time. And whilst you're maintaining those deep contractions in the muscles and correcting your alignment, learning how to breathe longer and deeper in positions as well, okay? So, loads of hamstring stretches today. Get yourself ready, come towards the front of your mat. Bring the feet right together, please, and close down the eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale again, fill up the lungs. Exhale. As you exhale, keep relaxing the body, sinking down into the feet. On your next inhale, try to push the stomach out slightly. Inhale. Exhale. Release. We're going to take one more before we get into a little bit of movement here. Inhale. Let's fill up the rib cage, chest, lungs, the whole midsection expands. Then exhale, the whole torso almost drives it. Then just stand there for a second, please. Get very connected to your environment. What can you hear right now? What can you feel right now? Can you feel the mat beneath your feet, maybe the floor, the carpet, whatever you're doing your practice on? Can you feel your clothes against the skin? You're going to try your best, the more we practice together, to rid the mind of things like your schedules, the things like your tasks, the things like your responsibilities. And you're going to try as often as possible to just focus on the things that we started the class with today. Your breath, your body, your senses. Take one last deep breath in through the nose like this. And then exhale through the mouth. Then open up the eyes, please. Inhale, lift the hands overhead. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, you're going to extend and look forward. Then exhale, step back to plank position. You're going to drop your knees down to the ground straight away because we're not really focusing on our upper body strength at all today. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, lower the torso down. Inhale, baby cobra. Now, the back bending is important because we need to learn how to extend our spine and use our muscles at our back to get a better hamstring stretch, okay? Specifically in the context today, it's really important. Take a deep breath in now. Exhale, let the chest come down. Inhale, push to kneeling plank. And then exhale, child's pose. And the child's pose is also going to be very important because as you will learn, the more we practice together, just the positioning of your spine, that lower back, your ability to contract or relax those muscles appropriately will change the position of your pelvis. And that's really important when we're understanding how to stretch out our hamstrings. Then your next inhale, let's start to shift the weight forward, please. Tuck the toes under, then exhale. Find a downward dog. And then breathe here. 5 long deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. As you're staying static and breathing, keep making small adjustments to your feet, your shoulders, your hands to make sure you can hold the position with a little more ease. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, bring the right foot in between the hands for lunge, then drop the left knee to the ground on your exhale. Then inhale, start to straighten out the right leg as much as feels comfortable for you. Now, you're going to straighten the right leg in the kneeling half splits here, and watch, as you straighten the leg, where do you start to feel the tension? Now, I can feel that my hamstrings are super tight, especially after my run this morning. I can't straighten fully just yet, but it doesn't mean that you don't stay there and contract and stay in that tension point, that biting point for the muscle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bend into the front leg. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee up. Inhale, step back to your downward dog. Good. Breathe here again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Then bring the left foot in between the hands for lunge. Drop the right knee to the ground. Inhale, straighten out the left leg, find a kneeling half splits. Watch for how your foot turns out or inwards, okay? Try to keep a really strict alignment of your knee, hip, and foot and ankle here. And so we really get the body in position, make small adjustments, and then we breathe. Inhale here. Then exhale, bend the left leg. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee off the ground, then inhale, left leg, back to downward dog. Breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then from here, start to walk your feet forward, take small steps, purposely walking yourself slowly into a forward fold. Now, once you get to this forward fold position, I want you to find something, so maybe backs of the calves, backs of the ankles here, okay? Backs of the hamstrings are also fine. Take a deep breath in, then exhale, fold yourself down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, start to come up through a straight spine. So you're going to extend through the back muscles here. Slowly lift yourself up. Hands come above the head, please. Then exhale, bring the hands down. Inhale, hands lifting here. Small back bend if you want it, your choice. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extending the spine, look forward. Exhale, step back to plank. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, lower the knees, lower the torso down. Inhale, keep the elbows bent, push up for cobra. Exhale here, hold. So there is a lot of forward folding, so it is good to just hold some of these back extensions a little bit longer just to keep counteracting what we're doing. Both sides are just as important as each other. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, chest down. Inhale, push to kneeling plank. Exhale, child's pose. Breathe here. Let's take 3 full cycles of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, we're going to shift the weight forward, please. Tuck your toes under. And exhale, find your downward dog. Okay. So we're going to hold here 5 full breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And remember, when we're holding for cycles of breath, it's important that you choose a variation that you can hold for 5 full breaths. And what we don't want to do is choose a variation or a depth. So if I really push my downward dog as hard as I can, I don't know if I can hold it as much as I can for 5 full, long, deep breaths. It's much better to train with a frequency and intensity that you can maintain every single day. On days where I'm feeling good, I'll really push back into downward dog. I'll really push forward into forward folds because I'm not going to be holding as much. I'm not going to be, holding them as long in those classes that we're doing, right? And it's a very specific part of a training program where you really push hard for flexibility. And then at other times, most of the time, you're just working within a good range that you can work on regularly every single day. On your next inhale, bring the right foot in between the hands for lunge. Okay, now from here, you're going to keep the back heel off the ground. Next inhale, straighten the right leg as much as feels comfortable for you. Both hips are still facing forward. Both feet are still facing forward. We're not side on in warrior one. Okay? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Take a deep breath in, this one here. Then you're going to exhale, bend the right leg. Inhale, step back to downward dog, please. Okay, we're not going to hold too long. Next inhale, left leg steps forward. Lunge. Okay, exhale here. On your next inhale, straighten the left leg. Keep the right heel off the ground. Slight modification on pyramid pose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure you're squeezing your quad. Make sure you're figuring out how to interact with the ground here. So you're never just leaving your foot there. You're actively pushing the floor away with the foot, pushing the floor away with the back foot. It creates a really stable base for you then to manipulate your lower back, to manipulate your hamstring, your hip. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the left leg. Inhale, left leg back to downward dog. Breathing here. Okay, walking forward. Small steps, finding a forward fold. Now from here, can you take 2 fingers, bring them around the big toes if you can. Now if you can't reach your toes like this, okay, feel free to just hold on to the hamstrings like we did last time. The calves, backs, the knees, pull yourself into a fold. Those of you who can are going to hold on to that big toe. You're going to push the floor away with the legs first. Take a deep breath in. And you're going to exhale, fold, pull yourself forward and down. Now I need to be careful here because this mic is edging towards the inside of my mouth. There we go. I don't want to breathe directly onto that mic. It's probably horrible for you listening. So I'm going to lift my chin up a little bit here. But if you can, really tuck your chin in and bring the forehead down. On your next inhale, release the toes. Slowly bring yourself up through standing. Hands come above the head. Exhale, press the hands down. Inhale, hands lifting here, please. Exhale, forward folding. Inhale, extending the spine, looking forward. Exhale, stepping back to plank. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knees down, torso down. Inhale, straighten the arms as much as feel comfortable for you, please. Then exhale, child's pose. 3 cycles of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, let's shift the weight forward. You're going to tuck the toes under. Exhale for downward dog. 5 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, next inhale, step the right foot in between the hands for lunge. Now, turn the back foot to warrior 1 positioning. So it goes off at 45 degrees, okay? Heels, I like to put the heels on the same line as each other. You know, in general, when training people, that seem to elicit a very consistent results, or a very consistent number of results. Like, yes, some people need slightly different heel positions, but in general, heels in line with each other seems to, you know, get very good hamstring flexibility results for most people. From here, next inhale, straighten the right leg as much as feels comfortable for you. Now, you need to lift up to the point at which you can stay side on. So for me right now today, that's here. Okay, I want to squeeze my right quad, squeeze my glutes, squeeze my obliques here on this side of my body because they're really eccentrically contracting. They're getting longer and longer and longer for my body to get into this side bend position. Okay, so do not just think that hamstring flexibility comes from forward folding. If you look what's actually happening here, I'm doing a side bend with my leg out to the side. If I was standing upright, okay, you'd see how much this is a lateral movement of the body. But because the head drops down, a lot of people assume they need to do the same thing as what they do with the forward fold, where they do this. And you get your hands down pretty well here, but we don't get a lot of stretch here in the hamstring. Even if I'm a lot higher up, this can look like this here, honestly. It can look like this. It can even look like this. As long as we maintain that side-on position, you're going to really, really feel it on a different part of your hamstring than you do in the forward-folded hamstring stretch. And these are the nuances of stretching out the shoulders and the hips. They're ball and socket joints, so they have so much movement capacity and so many strong muscles around them that need stretching from different angles. Take a deep breath in now. Exhale, look down to the right foot, bend into the right leg. Whoa! Spin on the back leg, right leg steps back to downward dog. If any of you saw that, you can see that I'm sliding around all over these jiu-jitsu mats. Left leg forward, in between the hands, lunge. Turn the back foot out, 45, oh my God. I'm gonna come over here a little bit. Hopefully I'm still in shot. 45 degrees. Okay. Then from here, start to straighten the left leg as much as feels comfortable for you. And look, on this side, I'm having to be a lot higher. Yeah, I can feel it. It needs to be about here for me on this left side, because with this right glute injury that I've been nursing for this year pretty much, this left hamstring has been taking a lot more damage in all my yoga classes, in my martial arts classes, in the capoeira classes. Like, it's normal. And you know, I think you at home as well will be experiencing that. If you do have any imbalances, one leg slightly weaker than the other one, you've had an injury on one leg, you start to feel that the other muscles, especially if you do something like yoga, which gives you a good reference point, you start to notice, oh, one side is a lot tighter than the other side. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to address it and try not to create shapes in yoga. If I was trying to create a shape, I'll be trying to do the exact same thing I did in my right and my left. But that wouldn't be efficient training for my left hamstring. To stay in the moment with it. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, bend the left leg. Wow, it's tight on that side. Left leg then goes back to your downward dog. Let's see if I can get back to my spot here. From downward dog, you're going to start to walk forward, please. Small steps. Taking you to your forward fold. Now, from here, what we want to do, if we can, we're going to bring, you can repeat any of the other two first. So you can go hands on the backs of hamstrings, hands on the inside of the big toe. Those of you who can are going to bring your hands right underneath the feet. Your toes go right up towards the wrist. Push the floor away. Pull yourself forward and down. 3 cycles of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. From here, release the hands. Inhale slowly. Lift yourself up. Oh, wow. Hands above the head. Someone said to me recently, like, this is the life of an athlete. Every time you move, you make some sort of groan. Okay, from here. Okay, next inhale, hands lift overhead. Exhale from here. Can you bring your hands in and behind the back? We just want to hit a standing back bend here, just to counteract some of the deep forward folding we've been doing. So just a little, it might feel quite uncomfortable for your spine. Sometimes, for me in particular, and for a lot of people, when you've been doing a lot of forward folding, it can feel like a little awkward to take the spine backwards, but we just do it a little bit, just to help those joints in the lower back. They don't get pulled too far in one direction. And your next inhale, start to lift up from here. Okay, step one leg back and let's be side on your mats now. Doesn't matter which side that you do, okay? Let's have your feet facing forward to begin with. You're gonna take a deep breath in here at the top. You're gonna exhale, forward fold. So, wide-legged forward fold position now. Inhale, extend the spine and look forward. Now, exhale, forward fold. Now, again, pay attention to your hip positioning. For me, I know that right hip likes to collapse inwards like this, so it stays away from my injured side, it puts more pressure on my left side, okay? So I have to then try to feel that opening on my hip by pushing my hips over to the right more. Try to feel your hip positioning. It's very important because it dictates which part of the hamstring gets the most stretch. So as you're here, let's take 3 full cycles of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, slowly start to walk yourself forward and up. Lift yourself up to the top position. Give the hamstrings a little rest at the top. If you need to bend them here, then bend them, because we're going to stay with this wide-legged position for the next few positions now. Okay? From here, next inhale, you can repeat what we did last time, or you can bring your hands towards your hips here, okay? So you can bring your hands to the ground if you want, or try with no hands, where you're gonna have to put a lot more tension through the hamstrings, okay, and control a little bit more with the back muscles. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward folding. So that's the most I can control here with my hamstring flexibility today. On other days, I can get my head all the way close to the ground, but you have to go by what you can do on the day. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last cycle. Inhale. Exhale. Then on your next inhale, let's slowly start to lift up here. Good. Last one. Again, hands to the ground. Okay, bend the knees here if you want. Hands at hips or hands interlaced behind the back. Be careful with my shoulder as well with this one. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, folding forward. 3 cycles here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now from here, take a deep breath in. Exhale, release the hands down to the ground, please. Good. Walk the feet in slightly, and let's come into a seated position. I guess I can do this here facing you. From here, take the legs as wide as feel comfortable, continuing with that wide-legged position. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward. As much as feels comfortable for you today. My left hamstring is stopping me about here. So this is my working range today. On other videos, you've seen me get much deeper, and it's just however your hamstrings arrive that day, I guess. Inhale. Exhale. Active holds, please, so still a little bit of engagement in your quads. Exhale. Engagement in your glutes to be opening the hips up to the side. Engagement in your lower back to be lifting the chest up. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, lift the chest back up. Okay. Walk the right leg in. Bring the right leg in on the inside the left thigh here. Okay. First, you're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, rotate towards the left leg. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward, over. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last cycle. Inhale. Exhale. Then inhale, slowly lift up from here. Exhale, come through center. Second side, so right leg comes out, left leg comes in, the inside of the right leg here, opening up the hip, so external rotation of the hip. It's that same external rotation pattern, we just take the tension off the hamstring. Chest rotates over towards the right leg, inhale here at the top. Exhale. Now you might see me call this my left leg and then my right leg sometimes. It's because sometimes I'm mirroring for you, sometimes I'm not. I'm mirroring right now. So you just copy exactly what I'm doing. Makes it easy for you, makes it hard for me to teach. Inhale. Exhale. Only other teachers will understand, right, what it's like to look at your leg and not know what to call out, left or right. And it's been your left leg your whole life, but now you need to call it your right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, slowly lifting up here. Come to a seat position. Comfortable seat. You know, take a second now. Close down the eyes, please. And try to make meditation, what we do here at the end, let's try to make it a continuation, not something separated from stretching, posture, position. This is a continuation. Just as for short periods at a time, I could get you to focus on nothing but your breath. Maybe for 1 cycle of breath, maybe for 3 cycles of breath, maybe for 5 cycles of breath, okay? And as you were focusing on the breath and you were changing small positions of your hamstrings, of your knee, of your lower back, you know, on some days you're going to be thinking about your shopping. On some days you're going to be thinking about your emails. It's fine. This is the process. On some days you're going to be nothing more than your breath, your body, and the sensations connecting all of that experience together. And so let's just practice here, please. Like with no expectation, no pass-fail of what the meditation needs to be, but let's practice. Practice paying attention to your hamstrings and your lower back right now. Do they feel different? Practice feeling the shape of your body now. Just as you did at the start of the class, just as you did throughout the different postures, feel the positioning of your body, the shape of it. Feel its rhythm. Feel that flow of energy. And I know energy is such a loaded term now in the yoga world. It's been misused, of course. There's a rhythm to your body if you pay attention to it. There's breath coming in and out. There's heat coming from your skin, maybe even the environment that you're in. There's little puffs and vibrations of air hitting your eardrums and being turned into electrical signals in your brain. Like, you are such an amazing creature. And we only notice things when they're broken. We only notice how our knee functions when it hurts. We only notice the purpose of our shoulder and the different muscles when we have an injury. You only realize how important your breath is until you have a very chesty cough or cold. How about sometimes in our days, maybe once a day, maybe once a week, however much we can, we just take a second to feel our youth, to feel our health. And have some wonder and amazement at what a cool experience we've been gifted. I'm going to leave you with that. Kriyam Tat Sat Kukanto Asibane.